Welcome back to another episode of the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Here we talk about Colts football only, baby.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
What's good, Colts Nation? Big P here with special guest, Mr. Christopher. Say your last name for me so I don't destroy it. No sound, son.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah, you know.
I knew that.
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
I wasn't looking at your Twitter, and I totally forgot. I just be honest with you. I totally forgot your last name.
Pat, it's all good, man. I understand completely. Okay, so it's fine. It's fine. I still love you nonetheless.
All right. Now, since everybody's laughing at me and I got your attention, make sure you subscribe to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all our socials. We're out there everywhere. You guys don't understand how much those numbers help us. Okay. If you like Colts content and you want us to stay around, just subscribe. Even if you don't watch us live, even if you don't watch us every week, subscribe, help your boys out. Now, Mr. Jackson is from the Horseshoe Mob podcast.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to, Mr. Chris? You want to tell them where they can find you guys at, and let's plug the Horseshoe Mob up.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I know that you've came on our pod before, so we definitely always appreciate the love. But yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Horseshoe Mob Podcast. You can find us at Horseshoe_Mob on Twitter. Just like I said, just Horseshoe Mob, Fan Battle Sports. Like I said, the whole entire family and everything. Like, just make sure that you're liking, subscribing. We're going to be actually having a contest within the next 2 weeks, so definitely make sure that you're subscribing. We're also on YouTube, so make sure that you also subscribe on the YouTube as well.
All right, now you're going to have to tell me more about this this event you're hosting up.
Yeah, so I mean, the guys are going to kill me because, I was just thinking about this. So I basically just went ahead and said, you know what, it's about time that we do one, because we normally do, but we haven't done one yet. But we're basically just going to be doing a jersey giveaway. And so with that being the jersey giveaway that we're going to be doing specifically through there, it's going to be for people who are all subscribed on all platforms, or making sure that you're being subscribed on the YouTube. Being subscribed on other platforms means that you increase your chances as well. So definitely making sure that you're liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, letting us know, hitting us up on the page, especially on the Twitter page. And yeah, just definitely trying to make sure that everybody gets excited for the season coming up.
All right, now I got to ask, whose jersey? Or is it a surprise yet?
Well, so we're going to, normally we just be like, hey, you're just going to do this. But the thing is, at this point, I mean, there's a lot of fan favorites. The people love Pittman. People love Downs. I mean, people like the prospect of A.D. Mitchell. They like Latu since they see that he's an absolute high motor beast. They like AR. So at this point, I think it's just we'll probably just leave it up to whoever ends up winning exactly what jersey they're looking for.
Oh, sweet. So I win. I get to pick my jersey.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you win, but then again, since I'm announcing it on here, they might look like collusion. So I mean, you might be limited to one entry, and then that's about it. So you know what, you'll still get a chance, Pat. I promise.
Hey, I already follow y'all, so I'm already entered.
Yes.
All I have to do is sit back and win, baby. But anyways, you guys, if you haven't checked out Chris and the Horseshoe Mob, do it. The fun group of guys, very knowledgeable, very passionate about the sport. Give them a look. You'll have some fun. That I guarantee you. Anyways, boss, we're going to jump in this thing. Tonight we're going to cover offensive expectations, because last week we covered rookie expectations. So this week we're going to do offensive expectations. Next week we're going to do defensive expectations. You
Okay.
know, and who's ever watching, who's ever commenting, you can comment anytime you want. Let me pull them up so I can read them there. What's going on, Trey? Teresa, Chase, appreciate you guys jumping in with us.
What's going on,
Teresa,
Teresa? How's it going? How's it going? What's going on, Chase?
so there's a lot of expectations, Chris, with
Mm-hmm.
this team, especially the way that this year's draft went, especially how quick Anthony's recovery was. And we're seeing all the videos now of him standing flat footed, throwing 70 yards. An AD. That gets everybody hyped up.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
I think we're gonna have a lot of fun in this episode.
Oh
Just
yeah. Oh yeah.
everybody's expectations are so high. The draft, Chris Ballard killed the draft, in my opinion. Um,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's getting healthy.
Yes.
We brought back 99% of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Contract disputes, or not necessarily dispute, but you know what I mean. That was in their contract year.
Yeah.
Man, where are you at with this?
Honestly, like, so we go through these different phases every single year because we know that there's holes that need to be fixed. And like my whole thing going into this offseason was that, fix the defense possibly in free agency, and then go after offense in the draft. If you don't end up getting a pass rusher in free agency, then draft one, and then you're still gonna have to do both. Um, of course, once again, we didn't really do anything in free agency. I think we signed Raekwon Davis from Miami, and then we signed Joe Flacco from Cleveland. So, I mean, that's what we had in free agency. But then, I mean, the draft, I mean, AD Mitchell was a steal. Latu was a steal. I think we also got some really solid guys for the O line in the draft as well with Bartoloni and Gonzalez. So, I mean, I do
Agreed.
feel like they did number like they did a lot, and then now it's just like you see what it is. I think when we're looking at this team, you almost look like, yes, you're relying on a lot of young guys, but I think the one thing that we're also missing is the fact that you're also kind of putting more emphasis on chemistry as opposed to, let's just say, a broad approach. Because I mean, you can look at some of these teams that constantly have like all these moving pieces in and out, back and forth, but very rarely does everybody who's actively participating in free agency, the way that you may see where people are just signing everybody to just huge deals and things like that. I'm going to say very rarely do you see that they're just making this jump where they might have been bad and then automatically this turns them into a like 13, 14 win team. And I think
Right.
ultimately chemistry is probably more on our side than anything else, because now, I don't know if you saw, but now JT has a chance to work the whole entire offseason with AR.
Yep.
And he didn't do any of that last year. So you're asking JT to just go out there and just do what he's doing and then just having it go from there. So the biggest thing is going to be, okay, so how are we going to be able to respond with that? And honestly, I think that we're really going to be able to just do as much as we can. But I'm very excited now seeing what it is, because you see that Mitchell's a burner. And then you see that he's going to be fitting in, but also AD Mitchell's presence to me is going to push Pierce a little bit more, because now Pierce, with AD Mitchell being chosen, Josh Downs having a good year, Pierce is looking like the odd man out if AD Mitchell just comes out the gate and actually makes an impact in the offense.
It's very possible. That kid is talented. He's fast and he's fearless going
Mhm.
after that ball. I'll bring somebody else into the mix,
Mhm.
because you mentioned Josh Downs, but that gold that we got, what was it, third round? No, fourth round.
Um, yeah, you're talking about Gold.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Originally, I talked about him being a great special teams player, um, taking punt and kickoff returns off of Josh Downs, this and that. But that was before I went back and looked at his tape. Seeing his tape, this kid's awful talented as well. I think they're going to find a way to rotate him in and out with this group, not just be a special teams player. And I think he's going to be a serious contributor to some yards.
Yeah, I like Gould's upside because ultimately it's just like he is somebody who is very well known for special teams, but he's another guy who has good amount of speed, shifty guy. I mean, to me, it's just like he might be of that Josh Downs kind of mold. And so you do have somebody that could potentially work in. And I mean, I think Ballard is somebody who also is very much in the mindset that even if you're drafted as like a special teams guy or whatever it is, there's a chance that you could push somebody into the rotation. I mean, look at Zaire Franklin and EJ Speed.
Two prime examples right there. We got EJ what in the 7th round.
7th, yeah. Zaire Franklin was a 7th. Like,
and now they're both starting.
Exactly. And I mean, I think Grove was probably just like a late pick as well. And the thing is, it's just like being able to earn your way into the starting lineup means that it's just like it's just those people with that dog mentality. And I'm critical of Ballard because of for obvious reasons with him just wanting to frequently just rely almost solely on the homegrown approach. But I think ultimately it's not necessarily like it builds character, but I think it also forces people to have to really just go ahead and say, listen, this is what you're going to be doing. Like I think Kwity Paye, for all intents and purposes, Kwity Paye has the potential to possibly be like an odd man out, maybe. But that's just because of Latu, because Latu's versatility is bar none. And I mean, Ebukam last year, for what he was able to do for being signed, for a 2-year deal, he came in. And
Did you mean Mbuko?
Yeah, Samson Ebukam.
Yeah. I thought you said Abercrombie or something like that.
No. Maybe
my hearing's bad anyway. So
no, it's all good. It's but like for Ebukam to have, like Ebukam had the type of year that Kwity Paye needed to have, and I mean, now you have somebody who's another first round draftee who could potentially be edging you out. I mean, you got the option. It's 13 mil, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't mean that your spot is secure. It just means that you basically just bought yourself another year where you're not exactly safe. And that's good because I want people to not be safe or feel like they're safe on this team.
Complacent. Oh, I'm the starter. I'm not going nowhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. That's all right. Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Looking back on last season,
mm-hmm.
we went what, 9-7?
9-8.
9-8.
Mm-hmm.
With primarily Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Do you think if Anthony was healthy that entire season last season, that we improve or stay the same or get worse?
Probably about the same.
Think the same?
Yeah. And the only reason why is just because you saw that after a certain amount of time, teams were playing us a very, very specific way. So you saw, like, let's just say, for example, when we played the Ravens, they sent Kyle Hamilton on blitzes repeatedly.
Every snap.
I think he had 4 straight where he's literally just safety blitzing. Now, the one thing that you have to understand is that for a team to blitz as often as they are, you have to know that the quarterback isn't going to be moving around as much or isn't as shifty, and you have the ability to be able to stop him in his tracks. The problem that you have with Anthony Richardson is that you can try to send those types of blitzes, but the thing is you also have to have other people in to make sure that you're either going to have the other side shored up just in case he tries to run the other way, or you're going to have to play it so that he's not chipping away at you. And so, the reason why I say like it possibly would have been, maybe a 9-8 is because of the fact that I feel like Jonathan Taylor would have possibly been able to go ahead and just get into a rhythm with them as the season went on.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, the offense looks, completely different. Look at the offense when in the Rams game. And even for them to kind of rebound, for them to be able to not just execute the way that they did when it came to AR's running, but also for them to be able to pass the way that they were, for them to be able to move around the way that they were in that second half. I think that right there shows you the evolution, or at least the progression of what the offense would have looked like if AR had the chance to be able to play in those reps repeatedly and really just be able to get a good feel for the game.
Okay. But see, all of your points that you just made makes me think that we would have been a lot better. Because you're not going to dial in on Anthony like you can Gardner.
Oh yeah,
Gardner was easy to game plan against, in my opinion.
yeah,
Anthony is not. And now
yeah.
you got a fully healthy Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
no contract issues. They're working together already. They're going to get that gel. They're going to get that go. So you want to blitz? Go ahead,
Yeah,
because we're gonna f you
yeah,
up, man. I'm
yeah,
sorry. We've got too much talent, and yes, Anthony still has to prove himself. Anthony still has to do this. Anthony still has to do that. Absolutely. But I so wholeheartedly believe that this kid can do that.
yeah,
He's definitely going to read the backside pressure 10 times better than Gardner does.
yeah,
Because Gardner doesn't even feel any pressure, even after he gets hit.
yeah.
And I hated that about Gardner. I like Gardner. I appreciated his service here, but it was definitely time for him to go.
Oh, absolutely. But like, so the reason why I say what I say in regards to us being the same is that I also do believe that, or for two reasons that we would say the same, is because I still think AR would have still had some of those rookie hiccups, some of those rookie mistakes,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
with him just trying to, like I said, just like when we get into like those defensive things, because there were games where AR being in the game wouldn't have changed anything, like playing against the Bengals, playing against the Falcons, because those were teams that came prepared to play based on the fact that they had an offensive game plan specifically geared to make sure that they were attacking our defense because of the fact that we didn't have edge rush the way that we needed to. So there were some games that I just feel like we were absolutely going to lose. I said it last season. I had us winning 6 games. I feel like even with it being 9 games with Gardner Minshew, I feel like we possibly could have still had 9 games with AR, but it just would have been a matter of some of those games looking a little bit differently. Like, I think it's just like the Titans game probably would have looked a little bit different, or the second Titans game probably would have looked a little bit different because of the fact that they were still getting after Gardner Minshew, and it's a division opponent, so they know how to play us.
Yep. Okay. All right. Good question answer session right there for you. So let's get in. Let's get into expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start position or as a whole and on the offense? Because position can't we man, I'm telling you right now, if we go position by position, we're gonna be here a couple hours. 'Cause I know you and I know me, and we can talk about each one for a good bit of time.
We can listen. We can talk about whatever you feel as though we need, because, like I say, you know that we can go back and forth on this football stuff all day because we talk ball. So
Right.
I'm absolutely right there with you. Whatever you're looking to do, I
Then,
got you.
okay, let's start with Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your expectations, what you expect him to do. But real quick, Horseshoe Mob is saying hello, and Teresa wants to know who let the dogs out.
Oh, who let the dogs out, man? Listen, you already
Did you
know.
not? Did you not hear that? Here, you get this. Uh-oh, Chris
Uh-oh.
froze.
No,
Oh,
no. I didn't freeze. I just have a very convincing frozen face.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear the Omaha? Did it come through, everybody?
No, the Omaha didn't come through.
What?
It didn't come through. I don't know what happened.
How about that one? Did that come through?
Nope.
Man, it was coming through before we went live. Son of a gun. I'm going to have to figure this stuff out. I need Clyde to get back home so he can run his board.
Okay.
All right, but anyways, we're gonna start with Jonathan Taylor. All right. The big keys that I'm looking at, and then I'll let you go into yours. But the fact that contracts are signed,
Hmm.
he's completely healthy, and he's ready to go.
Okay.
Those are the three key facts um, that I will speak on when you're done.
Okay. Okay. So I think the expectations for Jonathan Taylor are high, and that's just because we already know what to expect with Jonathan Taylor. I think JT has he's even with him giving us like the season where he just went all out. We know that he's somebody who can absolutely like take a game away. But now I think it's different because Carson Wentz was nowhere near like the quarterback that AR is in terms of ability, in terms of being
Agreed.
able to rush. So I mean, if I'm being honest, I can see that Jonathan Taylor to me is somebody who's probably going to do maybe like 1,300 plus maybe in the rushing
Okay.
game. I'm
Okay.
gonna say receiving game probably maybe looking at somewhere around like 550 potentially.
Okay.
And like I said, I absolutely see him being not just like a focal point of this offense, but I think he's going to be the other half of that equation that's going to make sure that you're going to have to patrol everywhere on the field at all times, and you're not going to be able to because you always have to have somebody to account for Anthony Richardson or Jonathan Taylor, especially coming out the backfield.
Agreed. Now, I was thinking 1,500 plus on his run yards, and I was right around 500 on um, the passing yards. But this RPO system that Steichen is putting in place is going to be very, very hard. So I think those numbers from both of us are very conservative. But
Yeah,
I didn't want to stand on the mountain, and you know what I mean.
yeah,
I had to go somewhere reasonably. But I honestly I feel like those numbers are very conservative. Um, somebody's going to rush in. Anthony's moving out of the pocket. JT sees it. He runs towards the rusher while Anthony's running away, and he
yeah,
dumps it over his head. Next thing you know, Jonathan's got 40 yards.
yeah.
You know, I'm telling you, I'm going to see this time and time. We're going to see that particular play right there every game.
Oh no, absolutely. And one thing that's not being accounted for is the fact that AR actually is a good passer. I
He
think
really is.
he's somebody who has he has the arm to be able to put it, I'm going to say dang near anywhere. But I think the other thing about it is the fact that like we had it on display last season. You saw it with Josh Downs. Like you saw that you had Josh Downs who was able to get into certain spots and he's able to hit him in those spots to make sure that he's going up and just getting it anywhere that AR is putting it. But the extra dimension comes when you have Pittman in there. And then you have AD Mitchell, who to me is just like is a very underrated route runner, but he's also somebody who is a taller guy who's faster. So you have different varieties of people who are going to be able to move around and they're going to make the offense just that much tougher to guard. And then if Jelani Woods comes in and he ends up being healthy, he ends up being that guy. I mean, he's 6'7".
Mhm.
So he's somebody else who's going to be very, very hard to guard consistently. And I mean, with the way that a lot of these teams are set up, like for example, we play against Minnesota this season. They lost Hunter. And I'm not sure exactly what they did when it came to cornerback. So the thing is, they're going to be relying heavily on their offense. If the offense isn't clicking the
With
way
a
that it's
rookie
supposed
QB.
to, with the rookie QB, if you're not and the thing is, if you're relying heavily on an offense with a rookie QB like JJ McCarthy, with a defense that now is pretty much depleted, that our offense is going to be very, very tough for them to cover because of the fact that they don't really have the personnel to be everywhere they need to be.
I agree,
So,
100%.
so if we're
But I don't
looking,
want to. I don't want to take their defense lightly.
absolutely not. And I think you can't take anybody lightly because at the end of the day, it's the NFL, right? And I mean,
Exactly.
these are,
Exactly.
it's the best of the best.
Yeah, these guys are in those positions for a reason.
Yeah,
Now, what makes one more talented than the other? What makes a team better than the other? There's a lot of layers you can pull back on to answer those.
yeah,
But yeah, I won't take anybody lightly.
yeah, absolutely. And that's the reason why we can't. I don't want to give like a step by step breakdown, but going back to Jonathan Taylor, he absolutely is going to be a vital piece of this offense. And I think he's going to be a vital piece because I feel like he's going to have probably, I want to say maybe 3 to 4 games where he's going to break for either a super big run or break for a touchdown. And then a team defensively is going to have to adjust in a way where they're playing possibly outside of their philosophy.
Okay.
Because I mean, like I said, it's kind of like the phrase goes: everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And the thing is, it's just like if Jonathan Taylor just punched you in the face, then that means that you're not going to go back and say, "All right, we need to guard the pass." No, now it's going to be we need to make sure he doesn't do that again, and now that's going to open up avenues everywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. I want somebody to stack the box on us this year.
Oh,
Stack
absolutely.
stack the box on us, please. I will friggin' pay you money because I want to see the destruction that's going to happen when you do.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and there's only going to be, I'm going to say, but so many teams that are really going to be able to do that and do it effectively to a point where it's just like you're going to have to just stop it.
Yeah. Sammy, bring up Josh's comment. Last one on the chat. There he goes. He says, I see Vikings starting Donald a few games before shifting JJ. Josh, I'm going to completely disagree with you. Sam Darnold is a no talent bum. That's why in the first 4 years of his NFL career, he's already been on 3 different
Oh,
teams.
give me a second, Pat. I'm sorry. I just have to open the door real quick for somebody
Yeah,
because they're
go ahead.
knocking like
Go ahead.
crazy. Yep, 1 second.
Go ahead. But anyways, now that Chris is gone, we can talk about him. No, I'm teasing. Chris is awesome, awesome guy. But anyways, yeah, Josh, I don't know when the Jets drafted him, I apologize to Jet fans. I didn't see anything from him that got me excited, and I still haven't seen anything. I think JJ could have a good camp, and they just throw him to the wolves. And in my opinion, with young quarterbacks like that, I think that's what you have to do. I think you have to throw them in and get them seasoned and get them seasoned fast. Take your lumps, learn, and grow.
Yeah,
And that, to me, that's the best way you do a quarterback. You know, with every young quarterback. Now, some quarterbacks might not be ready to hit the field, but I believe JJ is. I believe JJ is day one starter, just like Caleb Williams is day one starter. Daniels in Washington going to be a day one starter.
yeah.
These guys are very talented, and now they're at the next level with next level coaching. See, people forget coaching matters. I'm just telling you, coaching matters.
It does. I think so, and I think JJ McCarthy went to a good place with being there with McConnell,
Mhm.
but I don't. Me personally, I don't see it with JJ McCarthy. Personally, I don't think he's gonna be that good. I think he's gonna be serviceable for what they need, because I mean they have the pieces to really be able to do what they need to do. I think that it's just like having Jefferson, having Addison. Those are all great pieces. So I mean that's a good look for them, or that's a good look for McCarthy. But also I think maybe it is going to be vital for him to sit a little bit. Now Darnold probably isn't going to allow him to sit for too long because I mean I just don't see Darnold being able to
Because
really
he's
do
a
much
no
of anything.
talent bum. I
Yeah,
can't even throw football, and I can play better quarterback than he can.
yeah, I will never let Harish live it down that he wanted Sam Darnold that year that I think it was Matt Stafford ended up going to LA.
L.A.
And we went back and forth about it frequently. I was just like, no, he's not good. And then, like I said, I still to this day am not gonna let him live it down. So Harish, if you're watching, oh
Na na
well,
na na
don't care.
na na.
Yeah, it's just like, but no, but the like I said, having rookie quarterbacks, and I mean, like I said, we're going against the NFC North this year. So I mean, we're going up against Caleb. We're going up against JJ McCarthy. Jordan Love's going to be in his second year. Then we're going up against Jared
Aaron,
Goff, which I think he's a product of a great offensive system and not that good of a quarterback. Um, but then also going over to the flip side, we're going up against the AFC East. So then we're going to face Drake May also. So it's like we're literally going to be facing all these quarterbacks except for Daniels and Michael Penix.
yep. Oh, let
So
me throw a couple more out there. Aaron Rodgers, we're going to face. Daniel Jones, we're going to face. C.J. Stroud, we're going to face him twice. Trevor Lawrence twice. You know, Will Levis. I shouldn't even mention his name. Sorry, Tennessee. But yeah, I don't care what anybody says. We've got a pretty tough schedule ahead of us. Where there's a lot of talent that is in front of us that we got to beat.
yeah.
But we are pushing on time. I'll bring up Chase says JT will have 1,800 rushing, 500 receiving, and he don't feel like we have a dependable backup running back. Did you forget about Evan Hall out of Northwestern, rookie we drafted last year, blew an ACL the first game? I watched him this first game. He did well, but training camp, my God, this kid is actually a damn quality backup. I'm okay with Evan Hall.
Uh, I mean, so the thing is, I think the biggest knock is that we just didn't get a whole lot from him because of injury. So, I mean, not really being able to see a lot of him when it came to gameplay, that's going to be something where it's just like I wouldn't be too sure about it either. And that's only because you have to be able to prove that, like I said, dependability. Now, the thing is, when he says dependable backup running back, the first year that he's drafted is the first year that he's injured. Because honestly, it's just like I feel like there's guys that could absolutely contribute to the team offensively, but we just didn't get to see them. I think
Mhm.
Evan Hull's somebody who has a tremendous potential. Will Mallory is somebody who has tremendous
Absolutely.
potential. Jake Witt, we didn't get to see a lot of. So the thing is, when you go down the line and you look at all these different guys that we had that we weren't able to see on display, we can talk about potential, but also there's nothing to go off of that says these guys are absolutely going to do all these great things that we believe they are, because in the first year they had a chance to do so, they weren't because they were hurt.
Right. No, it absolutely, you're 100% right. And don't take me wrong. I'm not calling Evan Hall Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, clearly.
I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is he's a quality back. He's
Oh,
shifty,
absolutely.
he's quick, and he can cut on a dime.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So with all of that, that's what makes me say he is a quality running back. And we kept Trey Sherman.
Yeah. Trey
Is that
Sermon.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, we're okay with backup running backs.
Yeah.
But like you said, he played in one game. Just like Anthony. He played in 3 games. How can we be so high on Anthony? Then he's got 3 games, and Hall had 1 game.
Yeah.
How can we be high on this? Because of that potential. Because we've seen training camp films. We're seeing film now coming from the Colts. We've seen just the smallest sample size there ever was,
Hmm.
and there's potential everywhere. So we just have to have faith in our coaching staff to bring that potential out. And
Oh
I
yeah.
think it will.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it's just like you're right, like because we did get sample sizes, but I think it's different when you're talking about AR sample size and whole sample size, right? Because the
Absolutely.
thing is, even Will Mallory, for example, we got to see Will Mallory in for a few plays, and he looked absolutely explosive when he played. He was getting into spots. He was able to, get the ball in certain areas. But the thing is, it's just like, even with what we saw, like, we got to see AR before he got hurt. I believe it was in the Texans game. We
Yep.
got to see him score 2 touchdowns, just fire two off, and then he was out for the game because of the concussion. We
Yep.
got to see what he's able to do in terms of being able to take what was pretty much just a lost half and then just say, well, whatever. We got 2 quarters to go, and then literally just come back and tie the game up and then put us into overtime. And if not for a blown coverage or a miscommunication between Kenny and Juju, then I mean, like I said, they had a walk-off touchdown. So
Yep.
when we're looking at like the sample sizing for a quarterback, I do believe that it's just like, it wasn't necessarily a great sample sizing, because we got to see a comeback. We got to see a comeback from AR. We got to see him being able to score with his arm and with his feet. But like I said, he does have to prove that he's going to be around, because quarterback is a position where you have to be able to play 17 games.
Have to be. Have to be. And that's why, I will pitch the trenches every game.
Oh, absolutely.
Every game. It always starts and stops in the trenches. If you control those trenches, you control the game. Bottom line,
Oh,
in
absolutely.
my opinion. You can take whatever opinion you want, but that one's mine, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Since you was hot on AR, let's go with his. What do you think he's going to do this year?
Um, you know what? And the thing is, I'm not trying to be a super homer or anything. I'm thinking, if we're going passing, I believe that floor could be somewhere around. I'm going to say maybe floor is going to be maybe around 2,700 yards passing. I'm going to say ceiling might just be somewhere around possibly like 34, 3,500. And that's
Wow.
only because I think, and you know what? It's crazy because our offense is going to be designed to be able to be vertical. But I think we saw it in Jacksonville last year. I mean, Steichen drew up, or I'm going to say Cooter and Steichen, or Steichen Cooter. Let's go Studer. That's fine. Studer went and drew up the screenplay where Michael Pittman Jr. of all people took the ball. What, I think it was about 60 yards for a TD.
Yep.
And
Something
so
like that.
but so if we're looking at the way this offense can go, you see that you have vertical threats, but then you also see that they're willing to go ahead and make sure that they throw some plays in there that give you those concepts where you're going to get a lot of motion, you're going to get a lot of underneath play, and then all the guys have to do is pretty much just go ahead and take it upfield. Now, if you see somebody like AD Mitchell, for example, let AD Mitchell go and get a screen and be able to get 2 good blocks. He's going up all the way up the field,
All the
no
way.
matter what.
Yep.
But the thing is also, he has a threat of being able to just go ahead and just burn somebody deep and then go downfield as well. We saw Josh Downs repeatedly catch the ball in double coverage over cornerbacks that were taller than he was. And I mean, Pittman is an absolute dog. You saw it in the Ravens game. You
Dog.
saw, I mean, he took that crazy hit in the Steelers game. He was out. I think he was out for a game or two, and he was able to come back, finish out the season, and do what he needed to do. But this offense has the capability to be able to hit you just about anywhere. And I think Shane Steichen and, JBC, I'll just call him that. But JBC has the ability to go and just draw up these game plans where we're not going to have a one-dimensional look, or it's not going to be a one-dimensional identity for how the team's going to be. And I think AR is going to be able to air those yards out. But I also think that you're going to see a lot of those yards coming with like some of the yak stuff too. See if you're just, dumping the ball down and then JT taking that catch for 20 yards. or seeing that it's just like you're going to have Pittman, or the same way we had last year with AD Mitchell being able to go ahead and just take a slant and then take it 35, 40 yards upfield. So, I think that it's going to be a mixture of AR being able to just show that arm strength, or show that beautiful arm strength that he has, but then also drawing up concepts where the guys are just going to be able to make plays after the catch.
I'm with it. Now, my floor is your ceiling. My floor is at 3,500. My ceiling's at 5,000. Yes, I know, but I will reiterate back to the RPOs, and that to me, that's what does it, because the defenses are going to try to get to him. Defenses are going to try to rattle him. Defenses are going to try to throw off that timing, and then RPOs. That's when it comes really, really necessary, to boop.
Yep.
Those little boot plays.
Dink and dunk.
Peyton Manning did it all the time and got ungodly amount of yards on him because they were sending the farm to stop him. They were sending the farm to disrupt that timing. And I believe they're going to try to do the same thing here. And I'll absolutely agree with you. Our offense is going to be able to run anything they want at any time they want, because you can't stack the box. You can't cover deep.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stick in the middle, because we've got the weapons. We've got the talent to make you cover the entire damn field.
Exactly. And
so where are you going to pick? What if you're the defensive coordinator going against us? You got to pick.
Yeah,
you got to pick, and we see it. Boom, we're going the other way.
Yep.
But to me, that's why Anthony Richardson's potential this year is so high in basically his rookie season.
Yeah.
His rookie season. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We got to come up with a good, funny name for that. But, yeah. All these other teams seen his leg. They seen his arm strength, and they seen his accuracy. A lot of, I don't know how many Colts fans I've gotten to arguments with. Oh, he can't throw the short middle pass. Bullshit if he can't. Our receivers just have to adjust to his arm strength is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to be his adjustment too, because I think he's used to, like, somebody like that who just has that type of arm strength. What he's doing is, it's just like there's a lot of times where it's just like letting it rip, as opposed to it just being like having some of those passes where it's just like, you don't have to give us 100%. Just give us like 60 on that, 20-yard route, or just give us, just give us like 40. Because the thing is, 40% of his arm strength going to the flat is going to be more than enough for anybody to be able to do what they need to do. We got another special guest.
We got a special guest.
Hey, how are you?
Can you hear him?
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm Kiki.
Oh, you Shishi? I'm Chris. How you doing?
I'll see you later. Bye. Mwah. That right there just proves we're a family show.
Exactly.
We got dogs barking, great kids coming in.
I'm telling you everything. Like I said, it's full variety out here, baby. Okay, you just
Damn
gotta
right.
know.
Right. Yeah, you're not wrong, Chris. You're absolutely not wrong. And all these potentials. We talked about 2 offensive players,
Mm-hmm.
and we're already so hyped up.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, good God, the potential of this team is outrageous.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
And when I say coaching matters, it absolutely does. If Frank Reich had this team, he would still drive it into the ground.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he started to coach to keep his job. Shane Steichen is coaching to win.
Yes.
There's a big difference in coaching there.
Yeah.
Coach Steichen's philosophy towards these players completely opposite of what Frank Reich's was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Completely opposite of Tony Dungy's too.
Yeah,
I'm not just trying to throw Frank Wright under the bus because I've met Frank. I don't know how many times. Super super nice guy. I really enjoyed my time with him. But looking at the coach we have now to the coach we did have, no comparison.
yeah,
And coaching matters, and that's what makes this team so explosive. He's
yeah,
going he's going to see all this. He sees a lot more than what we're talking about. I guarantee it. Okay, the man's 1,000 times smarter than all of us put together,
yeah,
and he's going to know. Okay, well they start stacking the box because of JT. We're going to do this.
yeah,
If they pull the box out and they start doubling Pittman, we're going to do this. You can't cover everybody all over the field,
yeah.
and we have the talent to really exploit the entire field.
Yep,
It all comes down to what do they see as their defensive schemes
yep,
when each ball snapped. That's
yep,
what it's going to come down to. If they can get in Anthony's head and say, okay, we're going to call this play because this is the way the game's going. We expect them to pull um, this defense on you. You got to recognize it so you can come out of it and you can do this.
yep,
He's got to be able to see that. One of the benefits of him getting hurt is film time, study time with the coaches,
yep,
question time with the coaches. I think all that translates into his rookie season,
yeah,
and it's just explosive,
yeah.
absolutely explosive. Now I never did. Excuse me. I tried to cough and burp at the same time, but
Mm.
35 is the low, 5 is the high, and running, he's going to have 800 yards running.
Eight to 900 is about
Yeah.
where I thought that he would be because I mean, if you're an RPO system, it's very very clear that it can go that way anytime. I think,
Yeah, if he's got one guy to dodge, that's Hamilton from Baltimore
yeah,
is rushing him, and he's got that one guy in open field around him. I guarantee you, he goes whoop, and he
yep,
keeps the ball and he runs for it.
yeah,
But if he doesn't see that open green, dump,
hmm,
dump, you can't stop it.
exactly. And especially in an offense where Anthony Richardson is under center, because we're not gonna see a whole lot of like single back looks, right?
Mm.
Because the thing is, you'll probably just see him just go like more shotgun, probably more pistol. You'll see some single back every now and then, but the other thing is going to be that if you're looking at that team, frequent motion is going to be your best friend, especially in an RPO style offense, because frequent motion means that you can't afford to just let somebody just go on this side knowing that you have AR there, because you have AR in the game, you automatically have to make sure that he's accounted for. And if you don't got the kind
Absolutely.
of guy who can spy, who can just kind of roam and make sure that he doesn't leave that pocket,
And actually play containment.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like playing contain is going to be key, but also there's going to be so many different moving parts that you can't let any one person not be accounted for. And I
Absolutely.
know and I know that we're going to be kind of going into this, but also the O line plays a huge role in this as well, because this O line has been last year did a complete 180 from what we saw like the year before with Matt Ryan. And once again, it's the accountability factor, bringing
Mhm.
in Tony Sperano Jr., making sure that the game plan makes sure that the guys aren't just sitting there just trying to pass block, being stiff the whole time. Now you have the O line there that's going to be able to give AR the time to be able to make those plays. So you're really going to have to adjust your defensive scheme if you don't have enough to be able to make sure that you're covering everywhere all at once at the same time.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go over our time a little bit today, but we're gonna jump into Josh Downs and Michael Pittman Jr. Give us your expectations for them.
MPJ, I think this is going to be the highest year that he's had yet. For him, I'm going to say 1400.
Okay,
For
I was right at 12.
I'm going to say 1410 TDs.
Ooh, yeah, that's an aspect we haven't even really talked about. TDs,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
but
Because I think because we could honestly start talking about touchdowns, but then I mean we can start talking about touchdowns individually. Like with AR, I think AR could easily throw for 25 to 30. But then I feel like he's also going to end up running for maybe about anywhere between 10 to 15.
yep.
And so, yeah, so it'll start getting a little bit crazy once we start getting into those numbers. But yeah, I think Pittman definitely can go for 1400. I think this offense is going to be just much more open and much more explosive. But I think he's going to find himself probably in some one-on-one looks. And I like him in one-on-one matchups after they double teamed
Oh,
him
I do
last year
too.
because of
Yeah.
the lack of receiving threats that we had last year.
Yep. Hey, Sammy, bring up Sean's comment. And Chris, this plays in beautifully what you've been saying this whole night about AR. There's one reason why it was easy to move the ball last year when AR played those snaps.
Mhm.
Boom. He's right on top of you, brother.
Yep.
You guys must talk to before the show.
We didn't, but you know what? Sean might be my long lost brother that I was unaware of. So
Hey,
I don't
there you
know.
go. Yeah, I was really looking at Pitt, and I want to give him more yards, but I think with the addition of AD Mitchell and Josh Downs really coming into his own, I think those guys really pull some plays from him.
Mhm.
So does he have the potential? Good night. There it is again. You think I've been eating salsa and chips all day?
Oh yeah, you're bugging. You're bugging today.
Uh, he absolutely has that potential to hit 15 easy. But with the other talent that we've got and the way Steichen likes to move that ball around to keep the defenses on their toes, to me, that backs off a lot of potential catches for Pittman. So I brought him down to low 1,000, high 1250. And I was going anywhere between 10 to 15 touchdowns.
Yeah.
As far as touchdowns, I hate predicting touchdowns because I mean there's just so many variables.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you right now, I want Jonathan Taylor to get a touchdown every time he touches the ball, but that's not realistic. He
No.
has the potential to. If he's got a little bit of green grass, he's gonna do some damage. But
Yeah.
realistically, it's not going to happen that way. So I hate saying how many touchdowns.
Yeah. But I think sometimes with touchdowns you can kind of give or take because I think touchdowns to wide receivers specifically is a little bit tougher to call, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean, let's look at somebody who's regarded as possibly like a top 5, top 10 receiver of all time. Look at Julio Jones. Julio Jones, for all the yards that he had, putting up 1,700 yard season, 1,800 yard seasons. You look at his touchdown totals for a few of those seasons in his career, and they didn't look good at all.
didn't translate to the yards he has for sure.
Exactly. So the thing, so like, we can talk about yardage, we can talk about impact and everything, but I think it's tougher to gauge where somebody is in terms of just like how successful they are, because sometimes touchdowns, it's just like if a wide receiver gets 1,000 yards, right? And let's just say 30-year wide receiver gets 1,000 yards, but then they get 22 touchdowns. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, he scored a bunch of touchdowns, but it's just like it's clear that they were just very much a little bit closer to the red zone, or wasn't necessarily like a big contributor when it came down to how many yards they're actually getting. Like 1,000 yards is 50 some yards a game.
Yeah, very respectable. 1,000 yard season. It's very respectable.
Yeah, so but the thing, like, I think when we're talking about impact, I think Michael Pittman Jr.'s impact is something that's much greater, because, like I said, he's a 6'4", 6'5" receiver who, even with him just being as tall and lanky as he is, he goes up over anybody, and he's probably one of the toughest people to cover in coverage, even with double coverage.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just
Because, like you said earlier, he's a dog, man. He will fight you all the way in the air and all the way back down to the ground.
yeah.
We
And
see it every play.
yeah, and you can't leave somebody like that open. So I think also it's just like he's kind of like more of a subliminal threat because it's like you see him over there, you know who he is, and you know that if you don't cover him properly or if you don't account for him, you're going like he's gonna get you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Josh Downs,
Oh,
give it to me.
dog,
What?
dog, dog. Um, I mean, so I think Josh Downs is. I think he's going to have a lot of different opportunities. I do feel like he has the potential to be able to break into that 1,000-yard range. However, I do feel like he's going to have to kind of like still find his way in with these things because I think the ARJT dynamic is going to potentially take away some looks from certain people. And I
Absolutely.
have a feeling that he's going to have those moments where he's going to hit a boom, and then there's going to be some moments where he's light. I don't think he's like a boomer bust. I think it's going to be he either has great play potential or he has like decent play potential at the very worst. So for Josh Downs this season, I feel like he'll be able to increase his numbers from last season. I want to say floor 900 with maybe about 6 TDs. Ceiling is maybe about 1150 with maybe like 9 TDs roughly.
All right. See, I went floor around 800
Hmm.
because of the talent that's coming out. You
Yeah.
know, we've mentioned it several times that talent all over the field takes away from other talent. And
Hmm.
that's a good problem to have. I promise you guys. So if you're the MPJ fan, that wants him to get every pass thrown to him, it's not going to happen.
No,
Not no
absolutely
more. Not no more. It's just not going to happen. Um, so spreading that ball around, really to me will bring those numbers down for everybody.
not. Yeah.
And now his ceiling is 1,000 plus.
Yeah.
I don't have the stats in front of me. Adam J. If you could send me yards after catch on Downs, I think that's where Downs is going to shine the most.
Yeah.
Is in his yaks.
Yeah.
So yeah, he only caught a 5 yard pass, but he got 15 yards running.
Yeah.
That one
Absolutely.
play is going to hit 20 yards for him. And I think he'll be able to do that consistently all year long.
Hmm.
Now, when do they shift? When does the coaching shift its game plan and really start utilizing, that slot receiver?
Yeah.
When do they shift and start utilizing those tight ends to open up everything else? I think each game is going to determine that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially the way the defenses are playing you.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I think I think also I and this is probably just maybe an unpopular opinion, but I think Josh Downs has the potential to kind of play outside of that slot receiver role because I think the biggest thing with Josh Downs is the fact that he is somebody who, while he has that slot receiver, frame to him, being like a 5'9" guy,
Mhm.
being a shorter guy, has a little speed to him. We
A
automatically
little.
group him. We
There's
we
a jackrabbit.
but the thing is, it's just like we automatically lump him into the slot receiver because we're just like, oh,
Because of his size.
if
Yeah.
they're not 6'1" and up, then they qualify for the slot. But I mean, I think he's somebody where he's not like a slot receiver. I think he's probably like the closest thing that we're going to have to a Steve Smith from Carolina
Mhm.
that we had previously because we saw how he was able to play the plays that he went up with, even when some plays may have been like a little bit higher from AR, not only did he go up and grab them, but he went up and grabbed them in coverage and was able to really do that. And that's what he was doing in college. So this wasn't anything new. This is what we knew that he was capable of. So that's the reason why, like, when we look at a wide receiver like Josh Downs, he has the potential to be a game breaker because that he's, in addition to what we saw in his catching, the guy's route running is amazing.
Yes.
He has absolute like I'm not gonna say elite because I don't want to throw elite around.
Not
I don't
yet,
like
not yet.
yeah,
He's getting
yeah,
there.
yeah. But he has a really, really great bag when it comes to route running. I think on the route tree of all the routes that he ran last year, there were only two that he ran under under 80% efficiency. And I mean, and those are the extremely deep routes. I think one of them was like a deep slant, the other one was like somewhere around there. Like it was basically where it's just like he had everything covered, and that's what you're looking to do. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, yeah, you could put him in the slot. He can play slot, but I think he's capable of being a wide receiver too. And then, like I
Absolutely.
said, making people have to get in where they fit in.
Run a three slot, three receiver side.
Hmm.
Put your tight end as your slot guy. Who you gonna cover? Who?
You're gonna have to pick your poison. You're literally gonna have to pick
You're
exactly who
going
you want
to.
to hurt you the most.
Now Chase mentioned earlier in the chat that we haven't had a dominating tight end, and I totally disagree with him. Um, with Drew Ogletree, Jelani Woods, um, the white kid Mallory,
Yeah, Mallory. Yep.
Kyle Granson still. I'm not going to call Kyle Granson elite, but I will call him reliable.
Yeah.
Absolutely reliable. Mo Alley's still there, which I've said this offseason. I don't expect him to make it through training camp. He might. I don't know. But I don't see him getting re signed, not with the younger tight ends that we have and the talent that they've got.
Yeah.
Uh, that and Mo's had a lot of missed opportunities he's let slip through his hands.
Yeah.
I think that's catching up to him. But with Jelani and Drew and Mallory and Granson, man, yeah, if you start utilizing those guys, they would be elite.
Yeah.
But we haven't had the coaching that actually utilizes our tight ends, but for except for extra blockers,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think yeah, and I think we
So
kind of written into it last year, where they started to use more tight ends, but the problem was that Jelani Woods was out all year, and
yeah,
then Drew Ogletree towards the end of the year was out because of what was going on with him. Will
yeah.
Mallory was hurt frequently, so I mean at that point you're not able to implement the game plan the way that you want to because the thing is you saw that Granson, for example, was being used to block, but then it's just like he had those block and release plays
Yep.
where he's immediately blocking and then he's
I
going
always
out
call those
into
the
the field.
step blocks.
Yeah,
You step into your block two or three steps and then you release. That's what
exactly.
that's what I've always. But I've always been defensive guy, so my analogies for offense are probably a lot further in left field than most people's.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But that's all the more reason why, and this is the reason why I say like what I say in regards to the team. I really do feel like the only thing that would hold this team back this year is just staying healthy.
Yep.
Like injury, if injury is never a factor, you turn the injury slider off on Madden. You let this team play. I to me it's just like this could potentially be a 12-13 win team if everybody's healthy. But well, I mean, this is the NFL. It's the nature of the game, so you can't always do that. But like I said, if this team is healthy, then we're gonna see people balling out that we were hoping would last season, but we just didn't get a chance to see because of injury.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. But before we let you guys go, got to remind you of our inaugural cornhole tournament that we're
Oh,
hosting. And all the proceeds are going to go to Alpha One Resources. They are a veteran nonprofit organization. They also they help with first responders, police, and families.
mm,
Mental issues, alcohol, drug addictions, and they're going to be doing a lot of stuff for um, our protectors, basically. So if you get a chance, come out to the Thirsty Turtle 2 in Beech Grove, Indiana. Well, I think the address is 104 North 2nd Street. But Drew Ogletree is going to be out there. Kenny Moore said he's going to try, didn't commit but he said he would try. And we don't know who else is going to show up. It's just going to be surprise. Here I am type deal. But we've got um, a lot of invitations out to quite a few of these players, so you never know who's going to be there. We're going to have a dunk tank, cotton candy machine, uh, snow cone machine, bounce houses for the kids. The adults, you can get beverages inside the bar. There's going to be plenty of food being cooked. You'll have a chance to, say if you got a football and you want Drew to sign it. Usually, you go to signings, they're $50+ to get an athlete to sign something at a signing. Now at camp, it's free or whatnot. But here, we're only going to charge $25 for memorabilia signing, and 100% of the proceeds goes to the org.
Nice.
So it's not like Drew's asking for any money for his time that he's spending with us, nothing like that. And matter of fact, he made it very clear that 100% of the proceeds will go to the org. And we're like, yeah, that's what the hell we're doing this for. He goes, good. So a lot of there's even a biker outfit came, wanted to get involved, so they're coordinating a poker run. So after the cornhole tournament, all these bikers are taking off doing a poker run, raising money for the org. 105.7. It's an Indiana station. That's, I guess, like syndicated in 8-9 different states. Nice. They're going to be there, being live during the tournament on their radio station. So there's a lot of activity going on. So if you guys get a chance, come out. Meet some great people, people that do things like this. They're just good fans. They're good people that want to help raise money for a good cause. Come out, expand your network.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds dope. And when is this?
This Sunday.
Oh, this Sunday. Okay.
This Sunday. Sign up starts at 2.
Okay.
Or, no, I'm sorry. Sign up starts at noon.
Okay.
And so, I think the first bags fly at 1.
Well, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do, because I know that I'm not gonna be able to be there because I'm all the way in Casey, unfortunately. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna send some money over to donate on behalf of the podcast, so that this way you have some from us. So like I said, we definitely always want to help a good cause. So.
Absolutely. See, and that's why you guys need to go check out the Horseshoe Mob. Look at it. Look at this generosity just coming out of nowhere. Man, that's awesome, brother. That's absolutely awesome. We appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, when we talk about you guys being family, we mean it. Like I said, and we know that you're doing it for good purposes. So we're always going to make sure that if there's any way that we can help, whether it's being there or just making sure that we're sending stuff your way, then we'll go ahead and do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, man.
All right, final thoughts, Chris.
Let's make sure, as excited as we can be, let's make sure that we're tempering our expectations. We have to remember that right now guys are playing without jerseys on and everything, and all the social media teams are making everything look dazzling because there's literally nothing else going on. So let's make sure that we're tempering our expectations. Like I said, I know that we're throwing predictions out there, but like I said, I think we all have high hopes for this team, but let's not get too crazy, okay? We're not Titans fans. We actually are civilized in the things that we do. So let's just be as real as possible.
Most of us are.
Yeah. Most of us are Colts fans, So,
but I'm gonna totally say F that. My expectations are high. I'm ready. I'm ready for a run, baby. Let's go. I'm ready for a run. Yes, no doubt about it. But absolutely. I am a realist, so I'll take your advice. But I'm telling you right now, I'm ready. I am friggin' ready to go.
Oh, you and I both. But the thing is, you're in Indiana, so the thing is, you feel the electricity out there right now because of AR and everything. So yeah, it's a little bit different for you.
Yeah, a little bit, but this off season's been pretty jammed up for me so far. I haven't been able to do a lot of events or anything like that just yet. So, and coming to training camp, I'm like, good God, how am I even going to get out there this year? Just with everything going on in my life. So, yeah, social media has been keeping me hyped up for the most part.
Well, hey, listen, if I make it up there, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I could hit you guys up or see exactly who I need to talk to go ahead and just get in the door, because I know that you guys are as connected as the mob was in the 80s and 90s.
Well, I wouldn't say we're that damn connected, but we are blessed for sure, and we have a good time doing it, and and I hope we don't take those blessings for granted. I hope we bring value to everybody, at training camp, at games, and and just our perspective overall, because we're not trained journalists.
Yeah.
We're fans. We got cameras and we like to talk, so we got mics. And boom, here you go. That's us, and no, I know you're not a Colts insider. I'm definitely not a Colts insider. Nobody on the Anvil crew is a Colts insider. But we have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of fun, and we do whatever we can for anybody that we can. Absolutely.
And that's what matters most. So, like I said, you guys are doing it right.
Yeah, but don't you ever talk bad about my daddy. Don't you do it. All right, Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for jumping on here with me, talking some football, talking some expectations. God, I really want to know what you think about our defense, but that's for next week.
Hey, listen, I'll come back next week. You want to talk about defense, because that's a whole nother animal.
Oh, that's a beast. I am so excited to talk about right now.
Yes. Like I said, you need this, and like I said, and I want to make sure that I say it here because I know we talked about it before. I know we've had you on, I know we've had Clyde on, Acosta. We're gonna be getting you on soon. We need to make sure that we're lining it up. I wish he was here so I could tell him we didn't forget about you. Just been trying to get some structural behind the scenes stuff done. But yeah, we definitely want to make sure we get Acosta, and then also have you back on, Pat. Have Clyde back on. So yeah, we want to get all the guys on.
Well, I don't think you can have Clyde back on. I'm not loaning him out to you no more. Y'all have too much fun with him.
Listen. Everything that he said was completely on him. He shot from the hip. We didn't know he was gonna say any of it. He was just like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna have some fun." And then all of a sudden, he's just like, "Oh, Pat, by the way," and then just fire us like, "Wait, no, wait, hold on, no, you can't, no, this wasn't supposed to happen. Like, what are you doing?" Like,
oh, Mr. Military Man went off script. I can't believe it. Anyways, you guys, we appreciate y'all. We had an absolute blast tonight. Get ready for next week. Hey, you guys, I'm talking to you. Get your stats, get your questions, get ready for the defensive show next week, because we are going to hammer on this beast, because that defense has got me excited. Big time.
I got some controversial thoughts on that one. So
you want to share them real quick?
Well,
or you want to wait till next week?
I'll wait till
let's just lock it in. You're coming back next week. How's that?
I'm coming back next week. You got.
All right, we're gonna lock it in.
You got to have me on.
Acosta should be able to get back with us next week, so he'll be here too.
All right, cool. Then we'll do that. Then that's fine.
All right, we'll just have you back next week. Keep your thoughts for next week. Keep us all in suspense.
Oh, I will. I will.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's just dirty.
Good.
Dirty.
Good. I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman. Just.
I was gonna say Gru from the Minions.
Oh, girls.
All right, Sammy, appreciate you. Get us out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.